we row with the U.S. national team, and you're watching PressPassTV.com.
Hey, I'm Andrea Fasano, and thanks for joining us on Press Pass TV. Dr. Dot Richardson is a two-time Olympic gold medalist for Team USA in softball. She was also the team captain, and these days she has a lot going on, but found some time to visit the Sports Museum of America in New York City and tour the first female sports Hall of Fame. Get to know Dot as we hang with her at the museum. This segment is brought to you by Kashina. The next time you're looking for a bite to eat, check out Kashina in Hell's Kitchen in New York City. With great Italian food, an intimate atmosphere, and an award-winning wine list with the city's largest collection of grappa, it's a destination not to be missed. For info, location, and reservations, log on to kashina.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dot Richardson, two-time Olympic gold medalist in the sport of fast-pitch softball and orthopedic surgeon, and we are in the Sports Museum of America. Come on, let's go. So you did all of this? You put it all together?
Well, I led a team that developed this museum. I'm Laura Purcell, the curator of the Sports Museum of America, and I had a large team of people working for me, exhibit designers, carpenters, we had curators, registrars, everybody, and it took a long time to do, and almost everything you see is on loan from the athletes. So it's constantly changing.
And Laura knows fast-pitch softball.
I do. I wrote my master's thesis on the history of women's softball.
Yes! So we're going to talk about some softball today, too. Here's the Women's Sports Foundation.
Did you see the floor?
No, I didn't. Oh, man, this is awesome.
This is a floor projection, and we're right now showing women swimming laps around the gallery.
When I grew up, girls were not really encouraged that much to play sports. So I remember when Billie Jean King had this tennis match against a man, and that's Bobby Riggs. And I was praying she would win so then maybe I could play baseball. Isn't that funny? Oh yeah, softball. Here we go.
So this is the Games People Play Gallery, and these are all the different sports that Americans play on a regular basis. And of course we have softball.
How did you get into softball when you were growing up?
Well, I actually wanted to be a Major League Baseball pitcher. And I was 5 years old when I started playing catch with my brothers and my dad. But girls were not allowed to play baseball, organized baseball, at that time. So my dad let me be the bat girl. And at night I'd always wonder, why can't I play? Why was I given this gift? You know, and next thing you know, I'm pitching to my big brother right before a Little League baseball game. He wants me to break in his new catcher's mitt. And this coach comes running off the field and says, wow, you got a great arm. How would you like to play on my Little League baseball team? Yes, my prayers were heard, and here I'm going to play Little League baseball. And then he said, well, we're going to have to cut your hair really short and give you a boy's name. We're going to call you Bob. Well, I said, sir, thank you, but no thank you. Oh. If I have to hide who I am, I just don't feel it's right. So I walked over to a really big field, hiding in the outfield playing baseball catch. That was all I knew. And this coach comes up and says, wow, you got a great arm. How would you like to talk to the head coach? You know, and I was like, well, sure. Union Park, Florida, right outside of Orlando. This is the outfield I was hiding in, playing catch with a friend of mine, when that coach came up and asked if I had time to talk to the head coach. And when I went around at home and came to third base, now came the coach in the third base dugout, and it was a woman. And it shocked me, you know, and she said, have you ever played softball before? And I was like, no, what's softball? Oh, it's just like baseball, but the ball's a little bigger. Get on third base.
That is the Chicago-style softball, which is extra large, and then the one next to it
big for me.
Is the regular regulation size.
12-inch.
Yep, most fast-pitch people play.
Well, I took a few ground balls. She called me over and she said, how would you like to play on my fast-pitch softball team? And I said, yes, my prayers are answered. You know, you just felt that God had given you this gift, and now you have this opportunity. I know who wore this jersey.
Who wore that jersey?
Kathy Aronson, one of the best pitchers of all time. Joan Joyce, Bertha Ticky, and Kathy Aronson. I can go on and on to the more modernly known players, but Kathy Aronson used to pitch against me, and then I became her teammate and played behind her for a few years. So, and then she said, how old are you anyway? And when I told her I was 10, she almost died because the average age was 22. So we went and talked to mom and dad, and they said yes. And I became a Union Park Jet, and that picture is right in front that Laura had put here in the Sports Museum of America, and it's really neat because that's when softball started for me. I played 9 years with the Orlando Rebels and 12 years with the Raybestos Breakettes, and then I played 5 years with the California Commotion. So I only played on 3 major women's major teams, and the Breakettes just are world renowned. I mean, super famous. And this is one of the famous players who started at 15 years of age playing with her bestest breakettes, Joan Joyce, one of the hardest throwers. And Laura, she actually threw a slingshot, which now is a windmill, right? Overhand, I threw about 82, 85 miles an hour with a softball. So I was the leadoff batter for the United States of America from 1979 to 2000.
And the captain.
Well, just probably because I was older, they assumed I was the captain. But scored the first run in Olympic history, had the first home run in Olympic history,
Wow.
and was fortunate at home run in the gold medal game, and all of us standing there with the first Olympic gold medal around our neck. But you know, I look back, and if my mom and dad did not say yes when I was 10 years old for me playing, I wouldn't be where I am today, you know, as a surgeon and as a, 30 years in the sport of fast pitch softball.
And
So it
it's a good
takes
thing they did.
people believing it,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
and supporting you.
We are now entering the Women's Sports Hall of Fame. The Women's Sports Foundation has been electing women athletes to their Hall of Fame since 1980, but they've never had a place to show off their plaques. So these are the induction plaques of the International Women's Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Of course, Joan Joyce is elected in this Hall of Fame. She is the great bestest breakout softball player.
Ann Myers, first scholarship athlete at UCLA, basketball superstar. It's my favorite. You know when everyone says the Babe and they think of
Babe
baseball,
Ruth, yeah.
Babe Ruth? Oh no, I always thought of Babe Dickerson Zaharias.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Because I saw a movie of her.
Okay.
And how awesome were her gifts as an athlete. And society really didn't accept,
Right.
women in sports as much then, but she still competed. That's amazing.
Why do you think it was so hard for you growing up, or for women in general? Why?
Well, I think it was hard for women just because of society and where it was at. And you see a lot when you look at ethnicities or, race or those different things. And I think what happened is women, even though we're like 50% or 51% of the population, it's kind of like it took a while for the women to be recognized as true athletes because of their society roles that had been there. So I think a lot of women paved the way. And when Title IX came into effect in 1972 in this nation, that gave us a chance for people to think about it more. And that's what I love about the 96 Olympics. They say it was the Olympics of women, sports, team sports. Why? Women's basketball won, women's gymnastics won, women's volleyball won, women's soccer won, women's softball won, and women's soccer. But I looked at that as not just the Title IX opportunities for women in sports to encourage us as girls to continue to play sports. But I looked at 96 as when everyone fell in love with athleticism, no matter what gender. I mean, it was spectacular. I mean, the media, all of you. You even covering me now, it's exciting. Because there's so many girls and boys out there that enjoy sports, no matter what athlete, what race or gender the athlete is. And that's exciting. Look at Sharon Backus, one of the greatest shortstops of all time, and my head coach at UCLA. Look at Margie Wright. Oh, you know a lot about Margie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she head coaches at Fresno State now, but one of the greatest pitchers of all time as well. And she might be, they think I'm the youngest to be in women's major ball, but she lied about her age because you had to be 14. So she might be the youngest. They dropped the age barrier for me so I could play at 13. But Margie probably was the youngest ever. I mean, all of these athletes are so worthy of mentioning. Here's the winner right here, Monica Abbott, 2008 Olympian now, one of the hardest throwers for the United States of America.
She's throwing I heard
She's
80 miles an hour?
No, she's in the 70s, which
Okay.
is equivalent to 115 mile an hour fastball
That's
by
what
a
it is.
Major
Right.
League Baseball
Right.
pitcher.
That's what it is.
Because the distance.
Right.
They're 43 feet away, and
Right, it's
baseball
not
60 feet,
right.
6 inches.
Yeah.
But the hardest thrower is from Japan, Ueno. She throws 72, 73 miles an hour.
I know that.
Oh, yeah. So wait till you see her. And
I look forward to seeing that.
Wow.
I hope Abbott goes against Ueno. It's going to be awesome. Here it is. Union Park Jets. 10 years old. Isn't that funny?
Do you ever think that someday your picture would be in a museum?
No. Because like you in sport, you play for the passion and you just love it. And I always loved that movie, Chariots of Fire. You know, when he was asked about running and he said, when I run, I feel his pleasure, God's pleasure. You totally feel you're born with a gift.
Yeah.
And to have the opportunity to express that gift is such an awesome feeling. And for me, every time I step on the field, I just feel so alive.
I hope you enjoyed that segment. For more behind-the-scenes action, make sure you check out our website, PressPass.tv, or our YouTube page at youtube.com/PressPass. Also, don't forget to check out our live and podcast radio shows at PressPassRadio.com and keep that feedback coming in to mail@PressPassTV.com. For everyone here at Press Pass TV, I'm Andrea Fasano. Stay tuned.